All right, we're good.
All right, good afternoon. It is Monday. Actually, I'm sure we've done a Monday show at some point, but I think this is our first Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Virginia.
You can't
Uh,
trust that day.
yeah. So, welcome to the Gear Locker on a Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
And
Monday.
yeah, Monday.
Everybody's starting their week off. We started our week off.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's at work, but hopefully tell your boss you need to take a break. If you're in our time zone, if you're in Europe, it's already almost evening. So
Yeah, yeah.
tell
So,
your other boss, your wife or your husband,
yeah.
you need a break.
That's our wives, by the way.
Our wives are our boss. Yeah. Mine's
Yeah,
literally my boss.
we talk about this all the time. That's why we're still married, So
Yeah. Yeah. For real. Um, yeah, so what I had one of the things we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna pull up while you're talking for a second, and
yeah.
then eventually we're gonna get to your guitars.
hmm So I don't know what I was thinking about the last couple days is I saw a video. It's there. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with Masters of Shred channel. It's a guy that does a
Mhm.
pretty cool YouTube channel, and he basically just focuses on 80s guitars and the 80s scene and that whole the shred whatever players, but it's a really cool channel. I've watched them for a while. So I saw an interview that he did with the guy from I think they're called Diabolic or Diabolic Guitars. They're out of
Mm.
Seattle,
Uh-huh.
and his name escapes me right now. Something Lundgren or something. His last name is, but he played in the guy that owns that company played in Queensrÿche for a few years. Younger guy, and really really great guitar player. But
Mhm.
I've been following his store and his Instagram for some time now, and he gets like the most amazing one-off custom shop quote unquote shred guitars,
Yep.
from the 80s and 90s and up until now, like a lot of custom shop Jackson, Charvel, a lot of custom shop ESPs. And he does carry, quote unquote vintage guitars.
Mhm.
But to get back to what I was how this originated, what I've been thinking about is the guy said the master is a shred guy, which I can't think of his name, said to the guy from Diabolic, like, yeah,
Mhm.
you pretty much cornered the shred guitar vintage market. So, we talk about when we talk about vintage guitars and what makes a vintage guitar, we think of like late 50s and
Yeah.
60s and maybe 70s,
Right.
but you know in the late 70s, mainly because of Charvel, which became Jackson as well, Charvel Jackson, um, guitar building completely changed from what it was. You didn't have the options of like custom shops. You didn't get the option of like pickups and bridges and different types of wood and all these things that pretty much Charvel and Grover Jackson, you know,
Uh-huh.
they made like a whole new guitar and changed guitar building and all that. So those guitars were I would consider them they're like hot rods, they're like hot rods that are also built for like Smash Up Derby or something like that. It's like they're
Yeah.
they're 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 supposedly built to be indestructible and durable and to be able to do all these amazing things that your old school vintage guitars could not do, like
Yeah.
stay in tune properly and faster necks and all these things. But where I'm getting at, maybe somebody in the comments can you know um,
Did they play like butter?
yes, they do.
I'm sorry. I had to throw that in there. That's so dumb.
But yeah, so so now we have vintage, high performance guitars from the 80s now. I mean, they're like the next step I would consider to be like that could take on a world of its own in the next 10 to
Yeah,
20 years. Like these
yeah.
guitars become worth a lot of money. I wouldn't say as much as a 58 Les Paul, but who knows, you know?
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, these guitars are basically, the vintage of the high performance guitar, or bass,
What's an example, a couple examples of the guitar you're talking about?
I mean, when I think of shred guitar, I think of a guitar that you can do anything with. And for me, when have an image in my mind of what it is, it's usually goes back to Eddie Van Halen. It goes back to Strat shaped body that's a bolt
Yeah.
on maple neck,
Mhm.
with one humbucker, maybe hum in a single coil, one volume, three-way or five-way toggle switch, or whatever
Yeah.
whatever you got going on, pickup wise. But a guitar that's got a locking tremolo system that stays in tune, that's adorable, that you can play super fast and be able to get away with anything. And that's what I want in an instrument. I want a guitar that I can play any type of music. I can get multiple tones out of the instrument. And that's how I see a lot of these 80s guitars. I mean, everybody just kind of looks at them as like, oh, you can only play fast on it or whatever. But
Mhm.
there's a lot of you know, options, I think, with these guitars, like,
Right, right.
if that makes any sense,
Yeah. So when you're saying locking trem, are you or in your head, are you thinking Floyd,
well,
Kaylor?
it could be Klar, could whatever,
Okay.
like the image I have in my mind is like, this guitar, like this is, you got a maple neck, you got a hum single configuration, and that's kind of like what I have in my mind. But there's
Yeah.
other instruments. You got like besides a Strat, you got a Rhodes style V or an Explorer shape that
Right.
has the what do you call it again? The compound radius fretboard and all that. But I don't know if I'm jibber jabbing here,
Yeah.
but I think there's something to it when the guy said, "Hey, you're the guy," because the I hope I'm saying the name of the show, Diabolique. Um, the guy was like, he said when he started doing this and getting into the world of buying guitars and selling them, he would go on tour, and he was always the guy that would go to some of these shows, these guitar shows, and where everybody else was looking for old Fenders, Strats, and Tellys, and Gibson Les
Yeah.
Pauls and stuff. He was like, "Hey, do you got that Jackson Soloist from 1985
Right.
or the Charvel from 1981, 82?" And started picking up those guitars,
Uh-huh.
because I'm sure it's the same thing too. If you go back to the 70s, 58, 59 Les Paul wasn't not worth what it is today. It was just kind of like, yeah, some old guitar from 12 years ago, and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. I'm not laughing at you. I'm
So
listening and
it
quietly
it
judging.
could change. It could change where you see a Charvel, like an 81 Charvel Strat, for $35,000 or 40 grand, which there may be some
Yeah.
up for that much, but
Well, KUF, what do you think about a vintage shredder? So I know his idea of a shredder is a Stratocaster that weighs 112 pounds. I love messing with him about that.
I could do without the 112 pounds,
No, he like it's not 100, it's heavy. Uh, Good afternoon, man. Thanks for joining us. So, and we're gonna get to the upgrades we did to your guitar down after this discussion, a couple videos and pushing air and me trolling everybody with pushing air. But so my favorite, and that was you're talking about an era of time where I wasn't playing guitar. I was chasing fire trucks during that time. So I wasn't around when the Model Sixes. So anything that I know about those guitars are things that I've learned much later. You know, and we talked about that Jackson, which I still like a lot. I played it a lot this week, but
Mhm.
I think I like that because it reminds me the body, the neck, the fretboard, all that kind of stuff reminds me a lot of a Charvel Jackson Model 6.
Yeah, and well,
Oh, here we go.
the Model 6 was taken from that guitar.
Yeah, and
That
lo
was
and
just
behold,
that
I
was like the
forgot
cheaper version of the Soloist, the Model
I
6.
I forgot he had a Model 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think if I'm not mistaken, the difference between the 4 and the 6 was bolt-on and neck through, if I'm
Mhm.
not mistaken. But
I think you were
yeah,
correct.
and that's what so I wish the new Jackson Americans, well, that are now they're doing away with. I wish they had the electronics in them. Not necessarily. I'm not a big fan of the old Kahlers that were on those. Um,
Mhm.
they're a little bit
Do you mean
weird.
the options for the split coils? They would have, like, the 1
Oh,
volume,
yeah.
2 tone, or 2 volume, 1 tone, and the 3 switches here? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so and I've seen it the one that I see and hear the most is, that it has a mid boost in it, so one of the switches hooked up to the mid boost to turn that off.
So the
Uh,
original Soloist Jacksons was that as well. So
he said
with
it had the
switch,
Caleb bar, never had it in it.
and they actually made, maybe about maybe 15 years ago, something like that, Jackson did a special run where they copied those original, Jackson Soloists, and they did a
Yeah,
short run of a bunch of them. So it was, but I think the only difference was they didn't have the Kalar, they had the Floyd, but it was, they made them the same way, just
no, and
like
I
they.
think some people have converted them over. If you see them on Reverb now, which they shot up after the pandemic, the Model 6s especially, they shot up. They're coming back down into, like, a decent range now, and that's a good guitar. But you find them on, they're both ways. They have that older and it may not be a Kaler, it may be a, I don't know, it may be Jackson's version of one. It's very similar. It has, like, the little barrels on the end of it.
Oh,
Um
yeah.
yeah, so it has that you can find those on Reverb. They're pretty affordable now. I mean, affordable, 1,400 bucks. Affordable if you're 1,400 bucks is affordable to you.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
These days.
that's kinda my favorite. So go ahead. I interrupted you.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, but that Model 6, like I said, was just, the, affordable version of the original Jackson Soloist,
Yeah, right.
the same options and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah, amazing guitars, and, I think that was also the beginning of, when people started to figure out how good Japanese guitars were,
right.
because, Jackson Charvel was strictly basically a custom shop, and his guitars were
Mhm.
all one by one. And, it's like when the company started to grow, they outsourced to Japan. And
Yeah,
I remember my friend Chris Olson, he got for Christmas, I think it was definitely 1987, Christmas, and his parents got him a model. I'm not sure what Charvel. It was a bolt-on and the hum single
yeah,
configuration. I'm not sure what
okay.
that was. But man, that guitar was just, he still has it too. And such a well-made instrument, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's when people started to figure out like how good really the Japanese were at making guitars. But the
Well,
guitars were equal par with the USA almost. So
now the question, do you ever cover acoustic guitar? Do we ever talk actually, I talk about acoustic guitars a lot,
yeah.
especially, like, the way they're built, kinda nerding out on Martins and Taylors, bagging on Martin sometimes, and different yeah, so the answer to your question is, we probably talk more I mean, more of the audience likes to talk about the nerdy electrical stuff, but I love talking about acoustic guitars, the way they're built and the bracing. We talked a lot, a couple weeks ago. So if
Mhm.
you look back at an older show, we talked about the new Taylors and the neck adjustment that they have, which I think is super cool. I'd like to get my hands on one of those and try it out, see if it does anything to the sound of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do. We talk about those, probably more electric, but I think we talk about a little bit anything that's kinda newsworthy, you know? Anything
Mhm.
that, like, grabs our ear during the week, we kinda just talk about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so Yeah, and I think I've said it a million times. My favorite is the Model 6. I don't know why. There's probably better guitars out there.
Mhm.
Let's see.
I have no idea what that means.
I hit the wrong. I'm not. I don't even want to admit what I just did. I thought I hit the mute button and I hit the remove button.
Oh,
There's going to have a history. It's popular. I'm not familiar. I'm Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one there. Um, you can check it out and talk about it next show. Definitely.
mhm.
And I know enough, so I know enough guys around here. We have a local builder. I'm friends with a builder down in the Tidewater area, so I can pick their brains and find out more. I'm sorry we don't know that one.
Mhm.
He said, "Thanks for answering. We tried." He's like, "I have one question and we couldn't answer it." Yeah, sorry, man. We can find out more. Check back next week. Morning. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. So, yeah, so you wanted to talk about before we get to your stuff, because we're gonna talk about your upgrades and get ready for getting your guitars ready for tour and all that kind of stuff. Did you want to talk about the EVHs?
Sure.
That's funny because they caught my eye. And well, I'll talk about the Jackson. So I did a couple upgrades to that this week. I put on a titanium block, noiseless springs. A lot of people online, when you look at reviews of that, they complain about the spring noise. So I put noiseless springs on it, titanium inserts, and all that kind of stuff. Um, it plays great. Good playing
Mhm.
guitar. Stays in tune well. I like it a lot.
Yeah, great
So,
guitar.
Alex, what are you bringing on the road with you? We're going to talk about that in just a minute. We posted a couple. We'll get to EVH here in a second, and then we'll get to our next subject, which I know people that follow us on Facebook and Instagram saw the videos this weekend. So we did, like, I call it goofy little guitar spa day on Friday, and got those two guitars. We'll talk about what we did to them, and we did some ABs with things, which made, I mean, we worked on guitars for what, 5, 6 hours. We were spent by then, so all we could do is hold up a phone. We were that kind of done. So it definitely wasn't scientific.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so we'll get to the EVHs and then we'll get to your guitars. And let me hit share screen. And oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So which one did you want to look at first? Black? Well, I guess it could
I guess
be.
that's the same one, right? Yeah. Is that
Yeah,
it? Bacon?
I don't think so. I think one is, so this is in black and
Mhm. Ox blood, right? Is that what that is?
so
Same
two
guitar. Yeah.
monitors. Yeah. So kill switch. Yeah, I mean they're actually pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I mean, the finish, whatever, the black's cool.
Yeah.
But the specs, that neck just looks super nice. I don't know why. It just looks something like I'd want to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the maple neck and I even like the where the headstock is still wood. It doesn't have
Uh-huh.
the no paint on there, and yeah, it just looks like
Oh, here we go.
you're
Here.
and that wow, that neck looks really nice
Oh
actually.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, this caught my attention. Something I would play,
Uh-huh.
for sure. Um, because I'm a big fan of maple necks, just the unfinished maple neck, and I also like that feel of wood too a little bit more in the back of the neck, and
Yeah.
something to grab onto. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man. I like it. It's obviously a take back to Eddie's. I guess like the first Kramers he was playing back in what 83 or 82 that he started
Yeah.
using them.
Right.
Um, but yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I'm
and
down with
KUF
those.
isn't I don't know if he wants me to say his real name or not, so I'll just keep saying KUF. Not a fan of that headstock. Well, I think it's almost trying to be the hockey stick.
Yeah,
You
take
know,
back to that Kramer that he was
but it
using back.
what it the hockey stick, it didn't have that little hump in it, right? Yeah, I knew that. I didn't know if he said it's Todd. I know it's Todd, but I didn't know if you wanted me to blab it to the internet. Uh, Sometimes people just want to go by their screen names. Todd. He said it's Todd. Good to meet you, Todd.
Yeah, Bumblebee's cool too.
Bumblebee. Yeah, yeah, we'll throw that one up there. Um, yeah, this isn't. It's funny because I told you when I bought the Jackson, I was also looking at. I don't know why the EVH Wolfgang in white and black. And I told you, like, I don't know why I want to get that guitar because I think I've had 3 or 4 of them. I've hated every one of them. So I've had EVHs and never really cared for them that much. But
Mhm.
these look cool. I
Yeah.
don't, it's weird how your head does that. Like,
Mhm.
I think I need this, but you don't really. This is what I wish they would do different. Like, why why wouldn't you just upgrade the hardware in the back of it? I know they're trying to control the price point, but
Sure.
it almost looks naked when I look at those 2
It
spindly
does.
little
That
spring.
that small block on the back, it just
Yeah, it looks
it's a big
naked.
block. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
What do you think of the relicking?
Yeah, it looks fine, I I like the original, it's basically the same guitar, it's just, the red and white and black,
Yeah, Frankie?
Um, I guess that's like a take on, if anybody remembers that Charvel that Eddie got, around BH2 came out. I think that's a guitar that's on the back,
Uh-huh.
and it's like a take on that guitar, the black and the Bumblebee, except that guitar wasn't relic, so,
Yeah, yeah.
but, yeah, it's cool,
I don't know why they had them in it's the way they display. So I think I think all companies, they kind of play to us, through media, however we're seeing it, whether it's on the internet or whatever. The way they displayed this guitar looks so cool. I was like, oh, and it was sitting next to this guitar, and
Mhm.
they visually caught my eye. I was like, wow, those look really good. But
Yeah. It would look better if it was all green. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. But this one I don't mind. Maybe because it reminds me of being at the beach,
Yeah.
and I need to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't so what I don't understand about this is what I was gonna say about the Bumblebee, like, the whole body's relic, everything's relic, and then the neck is pristine, so I don't know that they
Yeah,
work
yeah,
together.
yeah. I get you there.
That that looks kinda interesting, but
Mhm.
yeah, so there you go. So that
What's the price
I
point on these guitars? Does it have that on there?
and see, hold on, so I'm on EVH's website. Let me see if it's not gonna hold on. I'll tell you, but you won't be able to see it. Ooh, Bumblebee, Sweetwater, 2249.99.
Wow.
That
What's
the green and yellow one is 14.99.
okay. Huh.
Ooh. So, but then, you have the Bumblebee for 22.49, but then you have Frankie, which has been out for a few years at 19.99 right now. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, it's the new one, it's a new version, so
Yeah, explain that, right? All right, let's catch up on I knew Shred Ward. He went to see Crowbar in San Francisco last night. Opening band dude was playing a 5,000 ECG guitar, 2 giant Atlas cabs, using a modeler. Total waste. Disgraceful.
yeah.
Let's see. We had Evan like the headstock on.
I think the headstock.
Todd like
You
the
mean the
Bumblebee.
yeah.
Might be a silly question. Never had one. The locking nut, when it goes through the neck, does it change the sustain?
I never thought about
Or
that.
what do you mean? Am I reading that? When it goes through the neck. Where do we see that?
you know, the locking nut. You see it in the screws on the back. I don't know. One of my guitars from that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know it. Man, I don't know why that didn't register. I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, I think
Never thought about that
some of
one.
that is kind of objective or subjective.
What if you put like
Um,
brass screws through there? Or something. Well, that would
well, here's the question. So, I mean, let's dig into that a little deeper, shall we? So, you play my white LTD. I don't have a locking nut on that at all. I have a
right.
GravTech unlock nut on it with a
Mm.
Floyd, which I like a lot because I hate fine tuners. I've talked about that. Oh, if it made it weaker. Well, I think anytime you drill something through, and I've seen those, I've seen them break it at those from people over tightening. Um, so yeah, I think anytime you drill something through an entire neck, yeah, it's got to make it weaker. I mean, I don't know that scientifically, but in my head, I know it's true.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Um, yeah, and I have to tell you, Todd, one thing you'll have to look at it when you come in here next time. I put the unlock in it, so I get it, and I fall victim to this a lot, like aesthetics and the way things should be, and the way that I like them functionally. So that LTD, I really like the GravTech unlock nut because I don't have to lock and unlock the nut all the time. You have to have locking tuners. You put it on, and then you can use it like a traditional guitar. They seem to stay in tune very well. You've played it. I mean, it's not really any difference, except
Yeah.
for you don't have to use the fine tuners anymore, which again, I'm left-handed, so it's awkward for me to go down there. It's second nature to you. You do it like it's the right thing. For me, I still don't like it. But on the Jackson, and here's my dilemma. On the Jackson, I thought about putting an unlock nut on that, but then I was like, then it doesn't look the way it should. That's my dilemma. I like the GravTech unlock. Excuse me?
It looks strange to me. You know, it looks
It
weird.
does, but functionally, I mean, you have to go for function or so here's the other thing, and so I like the FU tone. Let's go to Les Pauls. I like the FU tone brass fixed bridge that they have
Mhm.
for Les Pauls. I think it sounds good. It resonates well. It sustains well. Um, but it comes in chrome and gold. And my guitar's an older Les Paul, and I don't want a big shiny piece of chrome on it. I'd rather have something I can fade out and age to look age appropriate and mix in with the rest of the guitar. So,
Right.
visually, sometimes I'm different than functionally. And I think most guitar, I don't have, everybody knows I do unlock nuts, that I install those and I carry those, but I don't have, I think I've had one other person put them on. So I think some of it is like, it's really not, historically, you're not used to seeing that. They don't look the same. Yeah, that was my lecture on that.
Yeah.
The end. The end.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm curious about the nut going through the neck. Like if you put brass in there, what that would do.
as far as
Brass screws or
resonating and
something,
sustain.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
You know, you
Personally,
in the 70s with the brass nuts, started to kind of come out more, and then like, oh, more sustained the brass, and then maybe something will happen there if you put it through there. Who
maybe.
knows? I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
don't like the idea.
You know?
So all the stuff with with anything is preference, and with me, I don't personally, I don't know that I have a guitar where it goes all the way through the neck. But I don't know if I'd want one. But that's
Mhm.
just me.
Yeah,
And I don't even know why. Like I don't know if it's better or worse scientifically, but
yeah.
none of us do. It's all what we want, right? It's all
Got
about
me
what you want.
thinking,
What's that?
got me thinking that he brought that up.
Oh, bring it over and let's drill right through yours.
Yeah.
Let's
See what
drill
happens.
through it. I don't think we should do that. Yeah, so that Todd, you're right. That's what I worry about. I worry about it. I mean, maybe you over tighten it or whatever. I don't know. I mean, at some point, like at what point is Like, will it sustain? I mean, do pickups sound better if they're direct mounted into a body or suspended in there through the pick guard? I do think, just my ear, I think they sound better when they're mounted to the brass pickup system from FU-Tone. That's only because I've installed a couple of those and I like them. I actually may do that to the Jackson. I mean, I think that would be a cool little test, see if it sounds better. So, do we want to go over? We're 30 minutes in. Let's go over getting tour ready, getting your guitars ready.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. So I have a couple clips that we put on. We'll do those in a minute. But first, we'll just talk about the upgrades and then, what we did and all that. I mean, because we played with a lot of stuff on, some of the stuff, like Todd's seen some of this. He hadn't seen the Strat that I did because he comes in. People that watch this that come in here, they've seen a lot of this stuff. Or they played through my amp or whatever. Maybe not through the new modeler, but we'll see if people that guessed on Facebook were right or wrong. And we'll do a little guessing game in here and see which. And it's unfair because it's my phone and one sounds different because I'm standing closer to it, I think. So, but we'll talk about sound in a minute. So let's go over what we did.
Mm-hmm.
You first. Yeah. I need a drink of water.
Oh, so yeah. So this guitar, Roger brought back to life for me. It's a. I think I saw Jurgen's comment. I believe you are correct. It's a SV2 or something like that. They're called, but they discontinued these guitars some years ago. So this guitar, right. I haven't played it out live since probably about 8 years now, something like that. Wait a minute. Yeah, something like that. Probably about 8 years. It's been sitting, and one of the main reasons was not to get too much into my personal stuff, but I have some nerve damage and things like that. And the guitar is, for a flying V. Vs are not known to be super heavy guitars, but it's got some weight to it compared to some of the other ones. But I got a different strap on it, and it doesn't feel as heavy on my shoulder now. But it's a big guitar. It's a lot to tackle, Right. But it's one of the best sounding guitars that I got. So I've always been wanting to kind of bring it back out. So recently I was like, you know what, let me bring this back out on the road. And but I wanted to do some stuff to it. And the main thing was I wanted to take out the 2 volumes that were in the front here. See that? There's only one now, Right. So yeah, it was 2 volumes, 1 tone, and it was always in the way here too, banging into these. And I don't use that, especially for a guitar like this, which this guitar is just built for playing, super heavy stuff. It's just like it's full on this guitar. The tone on this thing is ridiculous. But so yeah, so Roger took them out, took the electronics, still the same pickups. I put these pickups in maybe about 7 years ago, something like that. So these are Fishman Moderns. Originally had EMGs in here. I think it was like an 81 or 60. First got the guitar back in 2016.
Well, and if you hold it up, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'll forget. If you hold it up, like we didn't want to leave the 2, and Todd, you'll love this because it was actually Todd's guitar. I think I learned this on. So we didn't want to leave like just 2 holes there because we removed it. It was volume, tone, and a 3-way switch. Mm-hmm. And we're just master volume with a push pull for voice 1 and 2. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't want just a hole there. So they make plugs, and you could see them in there. Like they fit right in the hole. I think so. As Todd's guitar, I'm pretty sure he can correct me if I'm wrong. We moved his, and we didn't want a hole there. So that's where I found that they had those little plugs. So you can buy the little plugs. They come in different colors, and they go right in the hole.
Yeah, that worked out great. I think I plan on eventually getting like a custom pick guard there too. But yeah. And then obviously Roger set it up, and yeah, it plays amazing. And it's a different feel of a guitar. It's not like playing a Floyd Rose, the string through body. So you
Right.
gotta act the instrument a little differently. Um, but man, this thing is just like I've been nonstop playing this for the last couple of days. That's all I've been playing, for the most part.
Right.
Yeah, just and also one thing I was pointing out to Roger before, and I don't know if there's some science behind this, but the tone of the guitar changed a bit. It now sounds a bit bigger and more open. Um, and maybe because of disconnecting those, you know, other pots that were there, that are connected to multiple things with the pickups. It's now just going through one now. So I don't
Yeah.
know if that has anything to do with that, if that makes sense. But it just sounds before it sounded more like more saturated, and
Right.
now it's just got a little bit more clarity to it, a little bit more open sounding, if that makes
Right.
any sense.
Well,
Uh,
and I think that we talked about this a little bit earlier. I think whenever we've talked about blower switches before. When you go, people have had me put blower switches on, which is a switch that basically bypasses all the electronics, and it's your bridge humbucker going like right out the output jack. So
mhm.
I think it makes reasonable sense to me. Like if we did away with all the other electronics and we're just like pick up to the volume, out the jack, it may actually sound a little different, you know?
Yeah, maybe kind of similar concept to having just one humbucker in the
Right,
guitar, you know,
right.
even though there's two that are functional that are put together on here still, but which I like.
Yeah.
I like the two. I like the neck pickup too for leads and stuff like
Evan
that.
wants to know if that's the one you used on the Atonement tour.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't
Wow,
used
good
it
memory.
since that tour cycle
Right,
thing.
then he said,
I think
"Are
the
they
first
made specifically for luthier work?" I was
what's that?
looking at that in the pictures and was wondering, I don't understand.
Luth,
Are they made
luthier.
it like, so sometimes, the bad thing for everybody in the comments, like, sometimes when we see the comments, it may be a little later and we're talking about something else,
Yeah.
and we don't understand it, so, yeah, just come back and, like, clarify it a little bit, and we'll answer it. Like, Todd's popped in for the hole plugs. Oh, yeah, got them off Amazon. Yeah, that the plugs.
Hmm.
So, that's what I was talking about, like, it jumps back and forth a little bit, and some people, they're watching while they're doing other things. I do the same thing. I get it. So, that the interesting thing to me on that is that has remember I started taking the pick guard off the front, and I'm looking at it going like, "Why are there holes in it?" And everything that looks to be mounted down in the pick guard, and the pick guard's just
It's
it's
just for
just a
show.
pick guard, it's just a
Yeah,
scratch guard is what
it's
it is. Yeah, you have to turn it over, we had to go in through the back, yeah, and
it's
if anybody saw the pictures of I appreciate Jorgen saying how good my work was, but that was actually the last person's work. That was a lot of wires.
it's a solid piece of wood here, mahogany.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mahogany neck too.
Yeah. There were times that trying to figure out, what was done, how we were gonna do this, what wires we needed, which we didn't need. It was like disarming a bomb
Yeah,
at times. "Cut
yeah.
the blue wire."
It was
"Oh,
a it
yeah."
was a jungle in there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was good. It went together fairly easily, and it sounded good. So then we'll talk about your other one, and then we'll get into the do you have the other one there with you?
I'll grab the other one.
He said, "Love it, has no bar."
So this one's
It's a
got a kind of
handle.
interesting story about it, you know. So I got this a few years back from my good friends at ESP, and this is a LTD Aero Deluxe. And let me tell you, this guitar is stellar. This is just like I put this up to against any E2. Really, it's just so well made. And I remember when Roger first worked on the guitar. because we had to get it set up and then put the FU tone upgrades on the guitar.
Yeah.
But the neck is just the fretwork on this thing is just really superb. But the thing about it is it always sounded a little strange, and I did realize that it was configured backwards. So, if anybody's familiar with Fishman pickups, you have the two voicings. So it was like flip flop. So it was like voice two was in voice one position down, you know. But even that sounded strange. It just had
Yeah.
a strange sound to it.
Yeah.
So my theory is that maybe somebody in the U.S. Headquarters, because my good friend Tony at ESP, he when I asked for the guitars a few years back, he was like, "Hey," because they didn't have any E2s at the time, so he was like, "Hey, I can get you an LTD," and I was like, "Sure," And then he's like, "I'll put on a German Floyd on the guitar because these guitars come with the what was it, 1500 or 1000 series Floyd." So they installed a German Floyd on here, which is great. This is a
Yeah.
great terminal system. But
Yeah. Well, and what
but
you were talking about with
maybe
the electronics.
they took it out and took the grounding out. They did something with the
Yeah.
wiring, and maybe it got fucked up
Well,
that way. I don't know.
I think the best way to describe the best way I can find to describe it is the way they had it hooked up. Like you would typically have both pickups in voice one, and then both pickups go to voice two. It
Yeah,
almost seemed the way that it was. This is the way I can just figure out the best to describe it. The way that it was originally hooked up, the wires were in a way that when you had it pushed down, like one pickup would be in voice one would be in voice two, and when you would pull your push pull out, they would flip flop, and the other one would go to voice two and then voice one.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like the two of them were never in the same voicing together.
yeah, yeah.
So, which was
It was
odd.
kind of like maybe the coils or something were split a little bit sounding.
Yeah, it
There was
was
something
weird.
funky about it. Yeah. So um so we took it was modern Fishman Fluence Moderns in here, which I love those pickups. Most of my guitars have them. But so we decided to switch them out for the Mick Thompson signature Floyd Fluence
Right.
set. And man, like this guitar sounds extra muscular now, if that makes any sense. It is just like on steroids now. And these Mick Thompson pickups, I really, really like them. I just, very similar, obviously, to the moderns, but it just got a little bit more snarl to it or something, a little bit more
Yeah,
muscle.
yeah.
That's the term. That's at least what I hear.
How
But
did it sound when you rig it home?
sounds fucking awesome.
Good.
Sounds nasty. Yeah.
Right.
And it's really like, um, when the sound of your guitar is improves or to your liking, I mean, obviously it makes it guitar you're more inspired to play the thing, And so I'm now just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do on this tour. Like, originally I was like, I'll have the E2 is the main guitar, and this is backup. I don't know, man. I might be flip flopping. It's also a lighter guitar too, so um,
Here's
having a
title. So, is there a difference in your regular setup compared to your tour setup?
you mean like as far as like yeah, I mean tour setup, I guess what do you mean by rig or
Well,
guitar?
I think some of it, like we kind of talked about this with the two of us. Like we kind of do some adjustments. Like right now, you live 15 minutes from my house, so we can do things if you're at your house. Like
Yeah,
you're 15 minutes away, I can be a little more unforgiving with your string height.
yeah,
Um, where when we know you're going on the road, we may set it. It's not high by no means. Your X is
no,
not high. I think we still are at like 4 or 564s
yeah.
on the bass side. It's
I
pretty
mean,
low.
sometimes if like Roger works on one of my guitars, and then I take it home, and then I have to feel it out. Sometimes I may have to bring the action up a little bit more, or lower. It depends
Yeah.
because it's hard to tell when you're sitting there in Roger's shop and you're playing the guitar. You're like, oh, it feels great, and then you take it home and so if it makes any sense as far as being on the road, like there's definitely I need a comfort spot to perform live, I guess. So maybe setups can be a little bit lower compared to maybe being at home with certain guitars.
Yeah.
Answers your question, but I usually like the action pretty low, but not too low. Like I want to feel the damn chords, and
Yeah.
also I think sonically it sounds better if it's not too low.
Well, this is kind of where I was going. Like when you're going to Europe, we need to let it have room
Yeah, for sure.
to acclimate to the different climates.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I gotta say though, ESP guitars, like compared to most guitars that I've used over the years, like they really hold up well traveling. I mean, and every guitar is unique. Where some are more temperamental than others, where the wood moves more than others. But man, the ESPs are usually really good with all the temperature changes and different flights and all that stuff. So they've held
Yeah.
up pretty well. Like I used this LTD. There's a black one that I recently sold not too long ago, and I took that through Asia. That went on 27 flights.
Wow.
27 flights in 3 weeks of a tour of Asia, and that guitar was fine. I couldn't believe it. Like I didn't have to do any adjustments on it. Eventually, over time, the neck started to move being at home. But 27 flights through Asia, man, that thing held up amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know,
So, you know what? I have two loaded clips. If we want to, like after we do those, we can come back and see for those that didn't see how they sounded on, and I don't know if they'll sound better through this, like going through StreamYard and YouTube and all that, but I think I might have a clip on my computer. But I have the other two clips preloaded and I don't want to like knock them down to put that up. So if we want to come back to it, we can come back to how the Mick Thompson sounded if you want
mhm.
to. So do we want to go to sounds now?
Whatever you want to do. Yeah, sure.
Whatever whatever you want to do. Yeah, I normally have that like, "Where do you wanna eat dinner?" And then I name something, it's like, "No, I don't wanna go there." Whatever you wanna do. No, not that. Alright, so I'm gonna mute my mic 'cause so we don't play a lot of clips on here, so I'm still kinda new to this and how they'll sound. So I'm gonna mute my mic while it's playing. So what we'll do, and to kinda set it up for the few that are watching, is we're just kind of testing up. It wasn't a scientific test. We didn't have a mic set up. Neither of the speakers, neither were mic'd. It was just my phone before as we were heading out the door. We did this really quick. So the one is going to be the EV8 Stealth. Pedal board is just in front. I took the cable out of it, went directly in the front because we wanted it to be as close as we could. So it's EVH on the blue channel. And I don't even know how they're adjusted. We probably could have tightened them up by having the adjustments be the same. So then we went to the Tone Master, the Fender Tone Master, EVH only, no pedals, EVH, Stealth on the blue channel as a setting on the modeler,
Mhm.
going to the Fender powered speaker. And so the thing about that, like we were talking about the other day for everybody watching, so you can so we could have matched the amps, the virtual amp and the real amp. We could have matched the settings, but there's more settings on the powered speaker. So, I think somebody in the comments mentioned like one almost sounds like it's a little too bassy. And the reason for that is I think one time we adjusted it a little bit because we are playing a Strat through it. So
Mhm.
we had to get that high end out of it. So and we just left it like it was. So which may give away like when I play this which one is which. So here we go. We're pushing air. We're pushing air. Well, wait a minute. Before we do it, what did you think?
What did I think?
Yeah.
I could hear the difference,
Yeah.
but I think both sound great. You know, the
Well, I guess what I was looking for. Did the Tone Master surprise you?
yeah, yeah, it did. Yeah, sounds great. Yeah,
Yeah, I was surprised how good that thing sounds.
yeah, yeah.
It would sound better if I mean, it's a lot. I said it a million times. I don't like a lot of knobs. That has twice as many knobs. So I just wish I could voila, and it goes where I want it to be. All right, so I'll play the first one.
Okay.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay, so I'll do the second one.
So I can hear the difference.
Yeah, well, and yeah, you could definitely. There's definitely a difference in the two of those. Some of it when you're listening to the recording back, some of it could be where I was standing too, because I was down from the EVH amp
Mhm.
and the cabinet, and I was standing right in front of the speaker for the other one, so that could have accounted for some of the sound difference.
Yeah.
Um, they were semi close, right?
Mhm.
In person. We probably could have gotten it a little bit closer if we had time and sat down and
Tweak
fiddle
it.
with the knobs and all that.
Mhm.
So the first one was all right, which one was which? I'll ask you.
To my ears, first one was the EVH, second
Okay.
one was the Fender.
Yep, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
bassier one was the Fender.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely more, compressed sounding, you
Yeah,
know? Um, the EVH sounds tighter,
yeah,
um, less compressed sounding, more open.
right, right.
Um, yeah, but,
Yeah, well, that's funny. So Todd on one is thinner. So which one was thinner?
I guess
Because
maybe
the one
he means the first one,
oh,
first video.
oh, one is thinner. Yeah. So yeah, and again, so there's a knob, I forget the name of it. The second one was thinner? That was
Oh,
the one that was actually a little bassier. And there so we could have adjusted that. That's like I said, we had the powered speaker, we adjusted that one. I forget what it's not a, mid or anything like that. There's one that you're able, I forget the name of it. Maybe I'll know it next time. You're able to kind of dial in that sound, and it gets a little mufflier when you go too far to the right on it, if you will. So that's and we had it adjusted for a Strat. So because we were trying to get that to sound a little
and
thicker.
by the way, Roger has this part Strat that is just I played it up against his custom shop Strat, and wasn't much of a difference for me. Um, that guitar sounds amazing, and Roger's pickups in there too. The singer coils. I just got to plug Roger's pickups. Just
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
Like
funny
the
because it's a
single
single
coil.
coil that sounds like a humbucker. Like
Yeah,
it's a single coil that chugs.
yeah. It just wow. I was really impressed. I mean, how good that guitar is. I mean, talk about inspirational instrument. That the between the tone of the pickups and the feel of the neck. Just really top notch guitar.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, and then
am I correct? It's a Mexican body with a USA
yeah, it's
American
a player
neck.
body. I had a neck here, and I just looked for a body. I found it on Facebook Marketplace.
Mhm.
And then I did all the wiring and I made the pickups for it. And I put good hardware, good pickups, and good electronics in it.
Yeah,
So it stays in tune great. And it's like the best of both worlds because you could go up on the neck or the neck and middle, and it sounds Hendrixy, Stratty.
yeah,
It can sound clucky like country. And then when you go back
yeah.
on the bridge,
Great
it
guitar.
tugs. Yeah, we should have videoed that one. That was actually kind of comical.
Yeah, like, next time we'll do that.
Yeah, next time we'll do that. And if anybody saw on the wall, yes, I have a thing. When you're in the fire department, everybody thinks you need a challenge coin. So yes, there was a whole wall of challenge coins there. So it's sort of like when you're like all your family probably gives you guitar stuff. So in public safety, they give you challenge coins and patches.
Yeah.
So if you saw that hanging in the background, I'm not nerdy. Everybody gave me a challenge coin. You need somewhere to put them. And if you play too loud, they all fall off of it and you have to pick them up.
Yeah.
So I have it in the wrong place. So let me remove these. You can talk for a second. I'll try to see if I can get the McThompsons up there without removing us.
Oh, I don't know if we did. I forgot that we did that.
What's that?
I forgot we did.
The McThompson pickups. I have that video.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can add it. If you want to talk, you can.
I'm talking. I'm talking.
This is me talking. Oh, here we go. Oh, man. So weird. Computers are so weird. I guess it was in the cloud, so it's downloading real fast. So as soon as it downloads, we'll play that. So here's the thing about the McThompsons that we didn't talk about. So McThompsons have multiple different, like, you can hook them up so many different ways. You can hook them up with 2 push-pulls. You can hook them up with mini toggles. Like, there's a lot of variations and, split this, split that, front one, this one, that one, but you simply wanted 2 humbuckers.
Mhm.
So the good thing about Fishman's is once they're installed, since you didn't want all of those, you just have that just has a volume also, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So with just the volume, so we basically, we had to replace the pot because the pot was bad, but we basically unplugged the old ones, plugged the new ones in, and I mean, you have voice 1 and voice 2, and that's really all you wanted.
Yeah. Mhm.
That made it easy. So Fishmans, and this is still downloading a little bit. So Fishmans are, if I were to compare Fishmans and EMGs, like once they're in, I mean, swapping like that is pretty easy. Even doing the other thing, if you can solder, I mean, they're easy to install. But those we didn't have to solder at all to swap out the pickups.
Yeah.
And it even take the strings off of it.
Yeah. We just like snapped them right in and
Yeah, slip them out. No, the one problem that we did have is they were built to be mounted in a pick guard and not direct mounted because the screw that came with it, it didn't fit through there, so we had to drill that. But not really a big deal. But I mean, to compare those with the newer EMGs, that's like installing a set of EMGs is like playing with Legos.
Yeah.
If you look at the little schematic, everything just kind of plugs in. No soldering pretty much.
This one was what I remember came a little bit easier putting this guitar together with these pickups.
Yeah. That's because the other one we had a lot of soldering. That one there, if it wasn't for the pot, we wouldn't have had any soldering. So, but yeah, so I mean, 2 good guitars are the ones you're taking out, right?
Yeah, these are the 2. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And so we're at 80, almost 85% download. As soon as it downloads, I'll throw it up here and then people can, if you didn't see it on the Facebook, we put it on Facebook and Instagram. It was on there, but we can kind of hear. And that was the EVH, right?
My salutes to Mick Thompson. He came up with a fantastic pickup. And, like Roger was saying, there's other options with the Mick Thompsons as well. Like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with his signature guitar that came out last year through ESP.
Oh, wait a minute.
So
Sorry.
today, Roger brought back my, I think that's the other video. I can't remember. He took out the difference not having these.
Oh, but wait a minute.
Yeah, that's the other one. Two volumes and one. It's a world of difference. Mick Thompson's.
Yeah.
Rally.
Those are a whole bucket full of growl.
Yeah. But like I was saying about the Mick Thompson pickup is if anybody's familiar with the LTD that signature guitar that came out last year, it's only got one humbucker. But there is more options on it. So there's obviously the volume up and down, two voices, and then there's a switch on there too that has options for, I believe, maybe splitting the coils, I think. So for some other voicing. So there's like, I don't know, there's like maybe three different or three or four different voicings on there on that guitar. And that's one pickup, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they do a lot. But out on the road with Immolation, I don't need all that, like for what
Yeah.
we do. For at home or doing other musical projects, sure. But I like to
Yeah.
have those options. But
Totally.
Immolation is straightforward.
If anybody's interested in the area, I have them in stock too.
Yes.
Let's see. Todd says off topic. Do you have any of the guitars? Jackson X Series signature Scott Ian King V. Do you?
Topic guitars. Have any of you play the X? No. I know I have played one of those. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I like the it's basically kind of like a take on the James Hetfield's original custom shop Jackson back in the 80s. It's got the fixed bridge on there, and it doesn't have the Floyd or anything like that. But yeah, they're cool. It's
Yeah.
kind of like it's like a hybrid of a Jackson and Gibson V, kind of with the fixed bridge on there, I guess, and stuff.
Yeah. And no, that was my little baby 50-watt EVH Stealth. I'm pretty basic. I am. I
think the better.
I like a lot of different things with guitars, but as far as amps and modelers, I am very basic. The fewer knobs.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all for that.
That's me. I mean, you saw the first thing I did was I was like, I mean, now with the EVH, unless I'm trying to play something with fuzz in it, like Smashing Pumpkins or something like that, I immediately disconnect all the pedals and just go right in front of the amp. It has all three of what I need.
I mean, the EVHs, besides they sound amazing, they're super easy to dial in. So the less, the more primitive it is, the better for me. I'm not one of those guys that needs a zillion things going on. So
Yeah, and it's hard to tell again through a phone, but that thing sounded really good. Those Stealths are great amps.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, and if anybody locally is looking for one, I know somebody's selling one right now. He hit me up last night, same amp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Todd said we're getting ready to wind down. Yeah, it sounded great. It did. Yeah, that's a great amp.
Yeah.
All right, so Future, you're gonna be out next week, right?
Yeah, no, but we'll do another show before I leave. I'm leaving next Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So maybe we will be on next either Monday or Tuesday.
We'll be here. Yep.
Yeah. And then after that, we'll send out, what we're gonna be doing, who we're gonna be doing it with.
I definitely I'll be on. I'll be in the States, so it'll be easy.
Yeah. So you're gonna be more you're gonna be able to do more of these while you're doing it or out, which will be cool. Like
Sure.
for people to get to see kind of behind the scenes of a tour, it'll be cool.
Yep.
So, all right, let's see. And Evan he said this. Sorry, Evan, I forgot to put this up.
Oh
earlier.
yeah. That's first date that we're doing of the run. So if anybody knows, we have a tour with Behemoth, with us, Deicide, Ronnie Price, Behemoth, the four of us. But that starts in California, ends in California. So on the way out there, us, Ronnie Price, and Deicide are doing some shows together, and on the way back, us and Deicide are doing some shows together. So that I believe the Baton Rouge show is us, Deicide, and Ronnie Price. So that's the first date. Yeah, next Thursday. So yeah, cool, man, Evan. I'll see you there.
Yeah. Then
Looking
you
forward
can
to
meet
it.
Evan.
It's been a while since I played Louisiana. I think last time I was there, maybe.
Should he bring you anything? What do you have down here? Crawfish? Should he bring you some crawfish?
I'm down with that. I'm down with the
Evan, there you go, man. There you go. He shows up with a thing of crawfish. to a concert. All right. Evan said,
Oh, wow. Holy shit. That long ago. Oh my God.
yeah.
All right.
Wow. Man, these people have good memories. Every time somebody does, they pull out an obscure date. I'm like, how do people remember things?
I
I can't
remember,
remember yesterday.
I remember 35 years ago, but after that, everything's a big blur. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, you had a blur in the middle, right?
Yeah, it's definitely like that for sure. It gets real foggy.
Really foggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right. We good? I
Yeah,
think
man.
we'll be back with more stuff next week.
Yeah.
Either Monday or Tuesday. Just watch out and we'll be on. Thanks
Yep.
everybody for joining us. Like and subscribe.
Have a good day.